Hey, it's MK and I am back with another 14 days of Christmas layout for you guys today. And I have to tell you, this one's a long one. So I have these two cute photos of my kids sitting or standing in the middle of a wreath. I have both of my faux Brad packets from the Christmas collections from Simple Stories. I also pulled out both of the rub-ons from 49 in Market. One is the Noel collection and the other one is the Peace and Joy collection. So I thought that they would work really well together with what I plan on attempting to create today. I have the sticker book from Christmas Lodge that I'm going to pull a bunch of elements off, but don't worry, I fussy cut everything off camera. And then I have the thicker set, which is like the foam set from Christmas Lodge as well. The Christmas Lodge one has the red Santas in it, and the rustic Christmas one has the gray clothed Santa. So I also pulled out both chipboard stickers from both collections, and I plan on using little elements from each of these chipboard stickers. This will give my project depth and dimension as well. And then from the Rustic Christmas, I also pulled out the sticker sheet. I have these scraps that I set off to the side and completely forget about. I lost them. In all honesty, you guys, my desk is a mess. It looks clear in the video, but it is a mess. And then I have this white piece of paper from Christmas Lodge as well. I plan on using the white. It's a little distressed and it's a little off-white rather than it's pure white. And then today's Tuesday and I keep forgetting to pull out my tools. So this time I pulled out this set of styluses, which were actually created from or for sculpting flowers, you know, like paper flowers and giving them a little lift. And then I have a sponge, a round sponge that's a paint dauber from Tim Holtz. A few elements that are from my stash, and then from Minte, I have the forest chalk paint and then the olive chalk paint. Now, this is how my olive arrived, was all yucky and mucky and all that stuff, but there's still a ton of paint in there, you guys. I'm not going to sit there and call and ask for another one just because it looks gross. I cleaned it up the best I could, and that's it. So the label is barely readable, but it is the olive. So I'm going to mix forest and olive to get the green that I'm looking for. So that way I can do a little bit of painting on my white piece of paper. Now, I did debate, should I stamp all this stuff and try it first on a scrap? And I do the daubers a bit just to see if I get the color that I'm looking for, but I'm just going to go for it. I'm not even going to bother trying to see if I like this technique on another layout, because I know me that if I do this on another, on something else, on a scrap, it's going to look better than when I do it in for real. So I did drop my dauber and it rolled across my page. Yeah, I forgot to fix that. It stays there the entire project. I just have so much fun doing what I'm doing. So I'm taking all of my stamping tools and I am creating circles and rings around my wreath. Now, what I did was I didn't outline where my photo was. I just put my photos where I wanted them. So I've trimmed them. I've put the photo mats on them. So I did use the green piece of paper. I put photo mats on my layouts. Or on my photos. And then I roughly drew messy circles all the way around. You're never going to see them. So I didn't plan on erasing them or anything. And now I'm just adding dots. I'm filling in my wreath per se. Yeah, I end up covering most of this up. Just to let you guys know, I'm doing all this work because I'm so super excited. And then it all ends up mostly covered up, but it's a layering effect. That's the deal. So I plan on using rub-ons. Rub-ons are slightly see-through, so I expected to see some of this stuff through my rub-ons. I expected to see some of this stuff through, a little bit of foliage here and there, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the layers. So I also forgot to bring in my straw, my stamping straw, and so I had to refilm. Not the whole part, but just bringing in my straw and how I use it. And it goes a little bit slower because it is a paper straw. And I found that it soaks up the paint super fast, like faster than my washi roll core thing did. I don't know what it's called. So I had to go really super slow during this part, and I almost had to twist the straw to get it to stamp. I'm not understanding what was going on. If I pounced too hard, then it kind of distorted the straw. I mean, it was a bad idea, but it has a pretty cool effect to it. I really do like the effect. And of course, I'm not doing any stamping behind where I assumed my photos were going to go. All right, so I waited for that paint to dry. The best thing about this chalk paint is that it takes no time to dry. I mean, by the time I got around the circle, my upper portion was already dried. So it just makes me happy that this paint dries super fast, or it soaks into the paper super fast. I don't know which one. And then of course I don't clean up my mess the entire time, so you get to stare at that ugly glob, because I was hoping that I was going to finish this layout fast, and get to reuse that big old glob of paint. No, like I said, it dries up super fast. So you get to sit and watch paint dry. Yay! While I am creating this layout though. So there's more entertainment other than just watching paint dry. All right, so I'm going through all of the goodies and picking and choosing what I want. I cut out my Noel rub-ons that I thought I was going to use. I picked and chose what faux brads I was going to use, thickers, stickers, and now I'm going through the sticker book. I will be tearing out some pages. Like I said, off camera, I was going to cut out what I was going to use, but I ripped out the whole thing. And then off camera, I will fussy cut all this stuff. You do not need to watch me do this at all. So last but not least, going through the sticker sheets, picking off what I'm going. And I have to say there's a few things that I did pick out, plus a few things that have been left over from previous projects that don't get on this layout at all. So now what I'm doing is I'm starting with the largest elements and making sure that they are spread out around my wreath, right? I'm going to create a wreath. And the hardest part about this is I want to intermix stickers and rub-ons. So sometimes I want the rub-on on top, sometimes I want the rub-on on bottom. And so that's where I have to make that decision of, you know, what is going to go where and how. And so I'm laying it out until I think I have it set. And what I was hoping to do, which, you know, it didn't work. I was hoping to use my big element, you know, my sticker or my thicker or my chipboard thingy, and put everything behind it, lay it down, and then just rub it on. Well, then I have the plastic piece from the rub-on. Yeah, that thought process was not fully completely developed by the time I had that in my brain. Yeah, it didn't work. So that's what I was hoping to do. And yeah, it was a slower process than what I really wanted, but I do love how it looked. I definitely wanted those thinner stickers underneath my rub-ons instead of on top, because I wanted the messy look of the rub-on, because all of 49 and Market's rub-ons have those paint splats around them, or blotches, or whatever you want to call them, which I thought was pretty cool. And that's what I wanted on top of my printed sticker. I mean, it was just a plain Jane, here's a sticker. It had no character to it. And so I wanted to add character to it by adding the rub-on on top of it. Now, sometimes the rub-on just disappeared, but the effect was still on the sticker, so you have to kind of look for it. And then other times it worked out perfect. It was like, yay! And then, of course, sometimes, like this red flower, I forgot about it. And then some of the stuff gets kind of slid underneath my paper, and it gets lost. This is a hot mess, you guys. I had to come back several times. I actually had company over. My in-laws came over for the weekend, and I got disrupted quite a few times in this process. And I finally told the hubby, I was like, I just really want to go get this done, because I don't want to lose my train of thought. It derails quite often, and so I did not want that to happen. So long story short, by the time that I am done putting all of this together, it looks like a full-blown 3-dimensional wreath on my 2-dimensional piece of paper. It looks awesome, you guys. I am so impressed with how this turned out and how full this wreath looks. Like it looks like it has all that depth and dimension, and it's not. It's not really any thicker than the foam stickers, in all honesty. I do try to cover up where that foam has that white border around it, because I can't cut that off. I can't trim around that. But it does disappear quite well by the end of the layout. So, and yes, I am putting, poinsettias behind some of these leaves and things and whatnot. And I really do like. So here's where I thought I could put the thickers, or the rub-ons together. This is where I remembered that, oh, I have that plastic piece. Yeah, my train of thought was just not all there. So, and as you can tell, I am covering up all that painting, but it's okay. I will come back and I will fill in a little bit more. But like I said, I wasn't sure where you were going to be able to see through the rub-ons and whatnot. So, yeah, and I'm trying to use up all the birds. Because a lot of the greenery in these collections had nests and birds and pine cones and all that good stuff inside. And I was trying to use those birds up and make them look like they were a part of the wreath. So I do a good job of using the gray birds, but all the cardinals were facing the same direction except for one. And so, yes, I did choose to use that cardinal that's looking off of the page instead of the cardinal that was looking in, because the one that was looking in was the smallest one out of all of them. And I'm like, really? So I've got 3 large ones looking to the left or to the right, and one looking to the left, and it's tiny. I mean, tiny. So not helpful, but thanks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add in my photos just to make sure that my wreath is full enough. Do I need to bring some more rub-ons in, because I do have a little bit left? Not a whole lot. I have more pine cones from the sticker sheet than I do anything else. I'm going to bring this strip in from the Noel collection by 49 and Market, and it's going to be like a shelf for my photo at the bottom of the wreath, because my photo is going to finish off that wreath. And then this is where I forgot my paper, like entirely. I was so excited with how my wreath showed up and came out that I completely forgot about all the papers that I was going to add to it, because it didn't really need it. It really didn't. So I've got 2 more little pine cone thickers or foam stickers that I want to add. And then I'm going to go through and add in all my brads. I like this addition of adding A, the dimension, and B, the silver. Like it brought in that sparkle and shine. It made the wreath really look, I don't know, like dimensional. I don't know, you guys. I just was pretty impressed. I had no idea what this was going to look like, but I used a lot of product to create this page and not a lot of paper. I really like how this turned out, you guys. I am so sorry. This is just a photo of my kids. There's this big old huge giant wreath while you wait in line for the Polar Express down in Ely, Nevada. And Grandma and Grandpa are like, well, can I get a picture? And Kyrie steps forward and the boys are like 4 feet behind her, like they're scared of her or something. I don't know. I told them that it's okay. Santa's not going to get them. So that's why Kyrie looks like you can see her, but you can't see the boys. And I just couldn't get them to play nice and get close enough, like they wouldn't lean in. And I don't think they understood what I was asking them. Or why. Now that my older son has taken some photo classes in high school, he understands, what I was trying to ask them to do, but I was just trying to get them to lean forward. And they were like, well, we can't step anymore. And I said, I didn't say step forward. I said lean forward so their faces could show. And so I finally just gave up and took 2 photos. I was trying to get the entire scenery with the sleigh and everything. But yeah, it wasn't happening. And I'm okay with that. I really enjoy the photo. I really am. My daughter's squinting because she's like, the light. It is never a dull moment when I go anywhere with my kids. Never, ever. I absolutely love it. So, and I was very happy that my parents actually made the trip as well and went down there with us. So, it was kind of cool. My dad's never walked the yard. He's been to the Ely, the Northern Nevada Railroad Museum. He has been down there. But he's never actually walked the yard. He didn't know he could. And he didn't know, well, I mean, he knew that there was a museum, and places to go and things like that. But he did not know that you could go all the way to, the engine room and actually, volunteer to work in the mechanic shop and all that good stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm taking the stylus again, and I am just dipping it into the forest because I want the different green. And splattering, just making sure that my wreath is full, filling in the places that I don't. Now, when I do the small dot, little dot, I am doing 1 full pounce and then only a little half a pounce to get the rest of my dots to be different sizes. So it's just how much pressure you put down using your stylus. That's all that it is. So clearly the smaller the ball, the smaller you're going to get in dots. And then to fill in some more gaps, I'm using some white splatter by Dina Wakley, and that is it. See, like I said, I totally forgot that that my dauber rolled off the page, and I ignored it. I still ignored it. But here's my wreath. I'm going so super slow this go around so that way you guys can see all the depth and dimension. You can see some of the painting still behind everything and seeing through. You can't really see the smaller dots, just more of the bigger ones, but I am super excited on how it all turned out. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. I really, truly appreciate it. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along down below the video. There's a description box and there's several links. Please keep in mind that people are playing when they can. It's not they are playing along every single day either. So if you click their link and don't see anything, just come on back and click another link. That's how I do it when I go and check out everybody else's videos. So anyways, thank you so very much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.